You think they were always killing heads of companies because they were fucking over people?
I think
I
that
think a lot of death happens on a daily basis, and he got because he was a CEO of something big. They
Oh, I'm not.
televised it.
I'm not talking about just death. I'm talking about targeting, like what Rico was saying, targeting certain people who are aligned in building companies and progressing companies that are just genuinely like
Yeah,
fucking over American people.
or
I
just
get
people
that.
in
I
general.
think I really think that happens, and we don't hear about it.
Like how so? Like I'm like, tell me what you
So
think.
I don't think that it has to do with just healthcare. Think about other things like, say, the head of the Food Administration. You know, like how do we know that the guy who is currently or the woman is currently in office or wherever position that she's in wasn't murdered and they just replaced her? I mean, how do we know that?
Like when they die,
That's what
or
I'm saying. Like,
or
how
they
do we know these
resign or
people?
step
Because we
down.
don't ever ask, like, who's this, who's that, or very few of us ask
Well, but
who
like,
these people are.
so if you're like head of the FDA, it's kind of like a big deal. Like head of the CDC, like that. I think if something happened to these people, it's just like you being like Justice Scalia and you die. Like it's gonna be televised. People are gonna know about it.
I do think. I mean, listen, I have a different way of thinking when it comes to situations like this. I don't believe that the way that we do things are ever going to be the best way to do them, personally, because legally it was all designed to protect, and those people typically know the law better than most, and they have affiliations that can help them leverage the law, right, in their favor to continue to persist in doing whatever it is that they're doing. For example, United Healthcare, what's it called? Declining 30% of people. You know,
Let me find a real number
or
because it
let's
was
just say declining
yeah,
X
yeah,
amount
yeah.
of people, right? So, I think that, in my personal opinion, and I always believe that this is gonna sound crazy. It don't chop it, and often in times like this,
Mm-hmm.
and that is the only way to make people understand how serious you can be as the people, simply because, like you said, if you're putting money over health, you got to understand, for them it's just money, but for the people, the 100 3 400
Yep.
million people, that's their loved ones, their friends, their families.
Yep.
So throughout the time, it's just going to be built up, and it's only going to take certain person who had enough, to lose that one extra person, or just to go through the situation. And we've seen movies like John Q, which is one of my favorite movies. I'd argue that it's a classic, where this man is now has his hands tied behind his back, and he has no way to literally help his son, and they have the resources to do it. And they're choosing not to, which makes it different. So all you need is somebody like that to literally go through that amount of stress and pressure, and they'll snap, and they'll meet you the exact same way that you were trying to meet them, or their friends or family. So I do think that situations like this, unfortunately, are called for an eye opener.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that it has to be somebody. I would rather it not be this way. And these big corporations, they don't really care. They're just gonna replace him and keep it moving. And that's what makes it even crazier, is like somebody just lost their life, protecting, your company, your corporation, and your profits. And yet you're gonna say next man up or woman up, right?
Well, I think that with the severity of the situation and there being a message that was being sent with this shooting, I don't think that it's going to be, well, yes, they are going to replace him, but I think that they are going to take it into consideration that people are coming for them.
Potentially, if it's only
I
one
think so.
off, the thing is, these people, they push the limits. If, God forbid, they replace this person and it happens to them, then that's when it's going to get to a point where it's like, okay, let's take a step back, let's regroup, re-strategize.
I'm trying to remember, and one of y'all might remember the name.
I would say that if it didn't have the words on the bullet.
Huh?
Like if it was just like a one-off killing, then maybe I would think that okay, easy replacement. They'll move on with their lives.
But it's not
it was
a-
like,
even without the name on the bullets, like it was a intentional like act. It wasn't like, oh, I'm tried to rob you. He didn't even make it try to look like something other than what
Yeah.
it was.
I did it.
They
I
said,
stood
I
by
want
it.
Yeah.
you.
Yes. He even the person over here drinking their coffee, he didn't even look over there. Like, and mind you, when you are doing some shit, you don't want witnesses. So he don't even care about that. This is the problem.
We gotta look
That
at
was
it
me.
like people are really, and I hope, I would love for somebody of some type of higher power to watch this show and to hear from us that people are fed up at the bottom.
Yeah, but they know that already. They don't
Yeah.
care. That's
I get,
the
yeah.
issue.
I mean, they
They
know
do
it,
know.
but of course they know it, right?
That's why they pit pores against pores,
Yep.
because they do know. And that's how you keep
Distracted.
people divided. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest.
But now what happens when the pores start clicking up? It's like,
Well, it's happened before, but then
they found
they
a
were
way.
fed more bullshit to make their division. And
So now you have these people who are in this position, which majority of the country is, right? Majority of the country are in a position where, they're floating around the poverty line, and yet I would argue the 30 whatever percent that is being declined,
it was
32.
32. We just
32?
I looked it up.
the approximately 30% that's being declined is within that group.
It's wild.
3 out of every 10.
Was within that group. So, we got to really step back and say, well, how much are you profiting? Like, that's my question. Trillion. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. 580 billion.
Over $500 billion. So I'm not necessarily saying that it should totally be a government program, because I think government, okay, nonprofit perhaps. Enrico, you just mentioned this about when it happens to one person and then it happens again to the second person, and you think it would make people behave differently. I'm actually inclined to think that won't change it. And I'm gonna give you 2 examples. One, I can't remember his last name, but they were at a baseball game. I think it was like a congressperson baseball game some years back, and somebody shot one of the congressmen
In the
that were
face.
there. His name was Scala. It was with an S, I think.
Mhm.
SC, whatever. And they killed. Was it in the face? I thought it was in the head. Whatever. No. That's the other one. So that's my next example. But one of y'all can look it up if y'all want to. But anyway, it was a congressman, and it was like a maybe just like some little annual game they have where they play against, I don't know, the right and the left, whatever the fuck they be doing. And somebody came up there and shot one of the congressmen. Was there a change in gun laws? Nope. And then the senator from Arizona, Scalise, yes, I knew it was SC, Steve Scalise. And then I think Gabby Gifford, I think she was the senator in Arizona, and she was doing like a rally or something. I don't even think it was like on no election type stuff. I just think it was like, hey, my constituents, I'm out here, like, let's rah together. Yeah. And somebody came up there and shot her. I think they shot her in the head, right?
That's what I'm talking about at the podium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I think it was Gabby Gifford, I think. And so you have, and Scalise wasn't like just no little bottom feeder person in Congress.
Yeah.
Like, he was one of like a more tenured person, right? And if you're a senator, you're one of 100. Like, you're a big deal anyway. So if you have these level of people being shot and being permanently like disfigured or hurt or harmed or whatever, and nothing changes, what does that tell you?
I would just say within due time, these positions are going to be something that people will decline. It's going to be like, yo, this is too dangerous.
They probably have already,
Right.
though.
I mean, yeah, a lot of people probably
Right.
have.
And that was what I said when we first started. I was like, you have some people who can withstand having that kind of job. And you have some people like, baby, that ain't for me. I ain't finna kill nobody grandmama.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, or risk me being killed for somebody's grandma.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but his wife was probably like the whole time, like, this job isn't safe for us. Oh, there you
That's
go.
probably why.
I mean, that's
You know, a lot
it
of
was
people,
definitely a factor.
a lot of these types of people in these positions, they also deal with more than just the actual death part. They definitely have been targeted before, you know,
I wouldn't doubt it.
and I can understand a woman with kids saying, "Hey,
Get that from around
yeah,
us.
I don't want to be like somebody just followed us home." You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, and a lot of this is public. Like the people are public information, so it's not
Oh,
hard
they
to
they
find.
took their so me and my friends been following this like on our chat. They nerds. But I'm
They
not.
But me and my friends been following it. They nerds.
But-
I'm not.
Somebody, well, one of my friends, he's an investor in healthcare. Like that's what he does for work. And he said, so between maybe the morning time to maybe like 4 hours later, he said, y'all, they took their profiles down.
Yeah.
Because he actually pointed out the number of black women in leadership. He was like, dang, I'm actually shocked how many there were. It probably wasn't even that much, to be honest. And yeah, right. Oh my God, it's a lot, but it's not. But excuse me. But he said, I think it was literally within 4 hours. He was like, y'all, they took it down. So now they, I don't know. I would hope that they've already known that there was a huge risk to these people. But
Okay.
in a sense, they're making it appear that they want to take these people's, these
It's
people out
too
of
late.
danger.
If it was already up there, and a CEO was shot, you think
He's not even the main CEO. Like the main.
that one's harder to get to? That's why.
At $200,000 a week, he probably lived a different lifestyle as well. Though he probably had his hands in a lot of other things that we would never know about. So it may not even be about him being the CEO. He probably most likely gambling. He's probably with people who had yachts and met people that didn't like him, like
Gossiping.
about a whole bunch of different things that we'll never know about. But I think the fact that he was part of the healthcare system could just be like the cover up.